this mic and we'll see how that goes. I need to adjust the little chat box. Oh my God. And my mouse is stuck. So much is happening right now. We have a new slide format. Let me know what we're thinking. Let me know how we're feeling about it. Let me know all of the things. Kerchow. There we fucking go. Now that is what I'm talking about. So we're here. We're in our science era right now. And let me know. I'm so serious. Let me know what you think of the slides. These are Google slides because Nearpod has just been like a little bit of a hot mess express recently. But we're still going to play the game in Nearpod because I realized I was like, oh, we can literally just do that part in Nearpod. We don't have to do the whole thing. And then when we were getting all the Trump ads, I was like, oh my God, this is just way too much. So we switched to Google slides. Let me know what we're thinking of this. She turned on Do Not Disturb, so I know what time it was. That's hilarious. As an Oklahomian, I'm so here for today. My brain is broken, unfortunately. I was just thinking, I was like, I'm so glad that we are doing like a very lighthearted kind of dumb topic because I simply do not have the capacity for this today. So also next week, we're doing Melania Trump. We're barely going to talk about Donald. Like the Donald mentions, I think there's maybe like 4 or 5. We're going to talk about her growing up in Europe. We're going to talk about like the random weird business ventures she's been on. We will talk about her reactions to him, but we're not going to talk about him really. They have this whole like inheritance disagreement thing. They're barely married. Like it seems like they don't like each other at all. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting and good. It's not going to be like a we stan Melania. I just think she's really an interesting person. And I think that when she did have the leak of it was like, I don't give a fuck about fucking Christmas decorations, that was funny. I'm mature enough to admit I laughed. You get what I'm saying? Laura Loomer tried to cancel me so she can go fuck herself. Not you having Laura Loomer lore. That's crazy. I have a canker sore, but I'm trying not to put that stuff on it because I think that stuff is making it worse because I stopped using it. It's been getting better since then. But anyway, let's freaking talk about tornadoes. We're mainly going to be talking about the history of storm chasing. I think storm chasing is very terrifying and very cool. So we're going to talk about the people that are like cool and then the people that are, it just seems like pretty dumb. So I wanted to get us into our science vibe because, I don't know, I just feel like we should have a science vibe. And seriously, let me know what you think in the new slide format. I'm really self-conscious about it if you can't tell. So a tornado is a rapidly rotating column of air that extends from a thunderstorm to the ground. It is characterized by a visible funnel cloud, intense winds that can exceed 300 miles per hour in the strongest cases, and it has the potential to cause significant damage to buildings, trees, and vehicles. And they can occur in any continent except Antarctica, but they are most known to the central U.S. in an area called Tornado Alley. They are actually not that common in other parts of the world. I think the U.S. is one of the only places that like really consistently has them year to year. I love weird stuff, but storm chasers I've never understood. I get it. I have to actively remember to not do that. You know what I mean? So how does a tornado form? And I promise we're not going to do science for that much. I just felt like to understand the storm chasing, we needed to understand at least a basic level of what they were talking about in the videos. So this is like the ingredients to make a tornado. Warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico rises into the atmosphere, and then cool, dry air from Canada or the Rocky Mountains moves in above it, which creates instability. And then wind shear, changes in wind speed or direction with height, cause the rising air to rotate horizontally. So when some wind is hot and some wind is cold, shit gets fucked up is what I'm gathering. Shit gets fucked up when you have hot wind and cold wind working together. Also, for reference, I have not taken a real science class in many, many years. And when I was in high school, I did a science class at this like homeschool Christian place. And my test would literally be like, God is the creator, true, false. And I was like, true. So when I sound like an idiot, it's not a bit. It's because I actually don't know this stuff. So what are the steps of tornado formation? The horizontal rotation. We just learned that. The wind shears create that rotating effect in the lower atmosphere. And then updrafts. Rising warm air lifts the horizontally rotating air, tilting it into a vertical rotation. There's a lot of rotating going on. There is a lot of rotating I guess it is a tornado. They are known for that. Then a mesocyclone development. I'm scared. As the rotating air is pulled upward, it creates a rotating column of air inside the storm called the mesocyclone. Twisting, you could say. Too much physics. This is very physics heavy. Touchdown. Oh no, I skipped one. The funnel. Oh, did I do that? A funnel cloud formation, a visible funnel cloud begins to form as the rotation tightens and extends downward. So I get it's like and then it's like and then the touchdown. If the funnel cloud reaches the ground, it becomes a tornado. So if it doesn't touch the ground, it's just windy. Oh, thank God, because I don't know what they were talking about. Tornadoes say, what? National Geographic. Okay. This was shot in south central Kansas. I'm scared. A Hawaiian shirt is quite the choice, I must say, for this event. Oh, it's happening. Earth is terrifying. Mother Nature is not to be fucked with. Can I just say that? Yeah, you're supposed to go in the basement if there's a tornado. I realized I had no safety information in this at all. Wildly rotating. Gonna lay in a ditch for protection. That too. It's really rotating. That's exactly what I just read to you is what's happening, just like I demonstrated. Why does storm chasing seem like a safer job than public school teacher? It probably pays better too. This is scary. It's like kind of slower than I expected, but I guess this is pretty fast in terms of evacuation efforts. But they don't evacuate in a tornado for that reason. It's too fast. And that's really bad to get in the car. Don't do that. I'm nervous. Also, it's going to be an intimate evening because I completely forgot to make any promos for this, like at all. So... These guys are good storm chasers. Look at this angle. This is like what I wish my Instagram was. Why did they make us line up in fetal positions in the hallways for tornado drills? How do you get the Wizard of Oz with no tornado? Frass. Oh, that is large. I literally looked away for 2 seconds. What the fuck happened? I like how just earlier I was like, nah, it's slow. Things are escalating quickly. Someone said once it touches the ground, things get fast. Okay, they did do a jump shot. Maybe they realized we were bored. It looks like a cartoon. I don't like it. No, no, no. Immediately no. Why are you out? What are you doing? What are you doing? Sir? 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 Get back in the vehicle, sir.
Amazing sight. Wow.
What?
Completely cut through. We got another area. It's off to the east now. We got to keep an eye on it. I think this is a cyclone supercell. We might have one last touchdown before this thing looks out.
I'm speechless. Why would... Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ah. Okay. So Tornado Alley refers to the region in the United States where tornadoes are frequent. This area has the highest concentration of tornadoes in the world due to, like we said, the mix of the hot air and the cold air from the Gulf of Mexico and from Canada. Tornadoes can occur year-round, but they're more common when the temperature contrast and wind conditions are strongest. What the fuck does that mean? So yeah, there's a map. If you live here, you are in danger. Right now, You are in danger as we are currently speaking. Oh, spring, fall. Oh, I guess that makes sense. So they use the enhanced Fujita scale or the EF scale, but it's just technically called the Fujita scale, I guess, which is used to rate the intensity of tornadoes. It was developed by Dr. Fujita. Oh, that makes sense. Am I mispronouncing that? Probably. In 1971 and in 2000, they replaced it with the enhanced version, which has improved accuracy in estimating wind speeds based on damage. So it goes from EF0 to EF5, with EF5 being the most destructive. But I heard a rumor that they are thinking about making a 6th category because some of them have been so bad recently. Oh, no, that was with hurricanes, I think. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, here are the classifications. EF0 seems like pretty dumb. Light branches, shallow rooted trees pushed over, minor roof damage, run-of-the-mill Tuesday. And then you can see that it goes up. So EF1 is 86 miles an hour to 110, and then 2 is 111 to 135, 3 is 136 to 165, 4 is 166 to 200, and then anything over 200 is E5, where in an E5, well-built structures disintegrated, heavy objects like cars and trains thrown far distances. The train. I don't know how I feel about Incredible Tornado, like Gold Star. We had an EF5 in my hometown in high school. Was that, I assume, not good? You didn't leave that with a positive takeaways, I'm guessing. Yeah, trains is jarring. How to read radar. Probably don't watch all of it, but this is interesting. Okay, period. Loving the lack of Trump ads.
Radar is one of the essential tools for every meteorologist to keep up with current weather conditions.
Okay.
For people like me and you, radar can also be very useful since it's generally freely available.
My mouth hurts.
You can stay on top of storm movement, and you can also assess storm severity. In this video, we're going to look at some of the basics of reading weather radar.
I'm going to speed this on up.
Assess the strength of storms and even what you can expect next. The very first principle we want to make sure to convey is that radar is by its very design delayed data. Storms oftentimes visually will show what radar shows 10 to 20 minutes later. So if you are a storm spotter or a storm chaser, remember, your eyes are the very first tool to assess storm strength and behavior. The very first screen we're going to look at here is the base reflectivity screen on weather radar. Now, this is what you see on your local TV news. This is what you'll see on something like the Weather Channel. It's the very basic base radar.
Can y'all not hear him? Maybe I'll switch to the other mic. Or
product. And this shows precipitation falling. And, you know, how weather radar works is that you have a transmitter and a receiver. And the transmitter will transmit radio waves out. And then those radio waves, they hit the precipitation and they'll scatter. And then the radio waves that return back to the radar, well, that's what the radar sees as the precipitation you see here on this screen. When looking at weather radar and you see, all the bright colors, a lot of people will think red means bad, pink means worst, maybe purple means absolute worst. There's a little bit of truth to that. The darker the color, the more warm the color is, I guess is the best way to put it, the more intense the rainfall usually is. Once you get to the green and the blues, that's light rain, and then you get yellow, a little bit heavier, and then you get to red and pink, that's the severe stuff that you usually will find in thunderstorms. Now, let's also have a caveat here, though. The darker the color is, the more red something is, the more orange, does not necessarily...
I think we get it. I think I'm good on that. But now we know we're looking at with the radar. Sorry, that's the only thing I don't like about Google Slides is like the going next, it replays the videos. So that is all of the science I can emotionally handle for the evening. So now we're going to get into the actual storm chasers. So storm chasing is broadly defined to the deliberate pursuit of any severe weather phenomenon, regardless of the motive, but it's most commonly for curiosity, adventure, and scientific investigation, or for news media coverage. A person who chases storms is simply a chaser. That's their little nickname in their club. So this is a tornado chaser answers storm questions from Twitter. I would like to hear her qualifications.
I'm meteorologist, storm chaser, and author Serena Arnold. We're here to answer...
Okay, she's literally a meteorologist. That's like the hardest school there is for undergrad, I heard.
...your questions from the internet. This is severe weather support. At Barb's Loco says, where is Tornado Alley? So Tornado Alley is Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Tornadoes occur in these locations April, May, June. Now we're seeing a little bit of a shift where Tornado Alley is moving further east as well.
Scary.
Because we have moisture from the Gulf that comes up. You also have cold, dry air come further down.
We know
and
this.
that warm air and cold air coming together is what helps to cause thunderstorms. And the reason that we are seeing this eastern migration of Tornado Alley is mostly because of climate change. At Olivia Frog says, how the do we predict weather? How do we just see the future and know what the temperature is? So the way we're able to predict the future and tell you what's going to be happening is through weather models. A whole bunch of equations that are thrown into a computer. They are run at government institutions or universities and research facilities. They're taking in what's happening with the atmosphere right now. They're applying it to these equations that we know about the atmosphere and outputting information about what's going to be happening in the future. So then your TV meteorologist can log onto their computer, pull up these different websites, and actually see what's happening in those forecast models. Even the free weather app on your phone is usually being tied back to one specific forecast weather model. We as meteorologists have to be able to figure out which model are we going to use in what situation. We know different forecast models have different strengths and weaknesses. Some are really good within the next 12 to 24 hours. Some are much better when we're looking out 5 to 7 days. Some are better at forecasting hurricanes. Some are better at nor'easters. And some perform differently in different locations around the world. Weather forecasting is really hard. Here we are, this big rock in space. We've covered 70% of the surface with water. Then we've got this
What does she mean we've covered? I didn't put that there.
crazy gas around the entire planet that's our atmosphere. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour as we're rocketing through the solar system. The sun is roasting one half and the other half is facing the vast void of space and is cooling. And now you want me to tell you what's going to be happening in 5 days? At Dju asks, tornadoes always gonna confuse me because how the F do they happen? So you telling me the wind just throws that ass in a circle? Scientifically, it's kind of what happens. This is a supercell thunderstorm. They rotate counterclockwise. And these are the storms that are capable of producing tornadoes. Right here under this rotating part of the storm that's called a mesocyclone. With all the circulations, the updrafts, the downdrafts, the rotations in these thunderstorms, this is actually also a very large updraft area. You create a void down here, and that creates an area of low pressure. And this is the area that forms a tornado. So typically about 1 out of every 10 storm chases actually results in seeing a tornado because they are incredibly hard to forecast. This storm could be capable of producing a tornado, or maybe not. Tornadoes can last for just a couple seconds at a time. Sometimes tornadoes can last for an hour and go for miles and miles. Becky Lou says, why are hailstones a thing? Whose idea was it to hurl tiny blocks of ice from the sky into our faces? When you have a strong to severe thunderstorm, the updrafts in that storm are incredibly strong. And so it takes these little water drops and it says, wait, Sahara dust affects weather in the USA? Sahara dust absolutely affects our weather here in the United States. The Sahara here in the northern part of Africa has lots of dirt and sand. And when we get severe sandstorms, those blow across here and take the sand and bring it over this moist, warm ocean. And we have water that's constantly evaporating, and that water condenses on the sand. And this eventually forms the first clouds that will eventually turn into hurricanes and potentially impact the United States. Ash XX11 says, if someone gets caught in a tornado in their car, do you open a window? Also, do you open windows in your home? People say it's a myth. There's absolutely no need to open the window in your car. It's a common misconception that low pressure is what breaks the windows in a tornado. It's actually the debris, 2x4s, and other things like that that the tornado is throwing around. If you're indoors in any building of any kind, get as low to the ground as possible. You want to go to an interior room where you don't have any windows. The more central to your house and the more interior with tight walls around you, the safer you're going to be. If you are stuck outside, then what you need to do is get to the lowest lying area you can, even if that means lying in a ditch in a field somewhere.
Oh my God, y'all were so right about your safety advice.
Never, ever park your car under an overpass. Might seem like a good idea. You may want to protect your car from getting any damage, but what's going to happen is, 1, the winds are going to funnel through there in a really bad storm, but 2, other cars park under there. You could potentially be keeping emergency services from reaching people who were just hit by a tornado and badly need medical attention. At GMonster7000 asks, wait, quick question. What are some of the latest technological advancements in tornado prediction? Have they improved warning times? Asking for myself. Yeah. Absolutely. We have a lot of increased radar technology and better notification that has definitely increased tornado warning times. In the 1980s, we only had about 4 or 5 minutes heads up when there was a tornado warning before a tornado would actually be occurring. Today, that warning time is up to on average 13 minutes. And there's some instances even where we are being able to give tornado warnings almost a half an hour before a tornado. The technology that's making that happen is drastically improved radar data. So this is a radar image of what a supercell thunderstorm looks like. Not only we're improving how frequently we're scanning the sky, but we're also getting more detailed information back on that storm. We've gone from them looking in the atmosphere every 8 to 10 minutes down to every 4 to 6 minutes, and in some instances even more frequently than that. And it's with that increased radar technology that allows us to get a better picture of that storm. At Phil Reed's News. So, have you been able to recognize patterns or relations between the radars and frequencies and the weather?
like her.
You know, see a certain radar LiDAR pattern, then you know to expect higher low pressure, tornadoes, etc. What's interesting.
Okay. I want to talk about the underpass thing because I think she kind of glazed over that. But what if I'm going to become the person who desperately needs emergency services because I don't go under an overpass? The part that I wish she elaborated more is that the wind gets funneled under the overpass. Like the little overpass creates like a wind tunnel. So the wind, I think she was saying, is actually going to be like stronger in there. So you need to get to a low-lying area, not over the overpass. So I guess maybe go on like the side of the overpass in that little ditch is probably your best bet. I have not watched Chimp Crazy, but it is my whole TikTok page. I think I'm good on her. Like, this was great. I'm ready to move on. We do have 80 slides. So, the pioneer of storm chasing, David Hoadley. Hoadley's interest in storms and severe weather began shortly after he graduated from high school when a severe thunderstorm caused straight-line wind damage to trees and power lines throughout his hometown of Bismarck, North Dakota in June 1956. Fresh off of World War II. And a tornado, God, cannot catch a break. Following this, he chased locally and then for several springs roamed Kansas and Oklahoma. See, that's the thing about prices in the 50s is you could just roam Kansas and Oklahoma for the spring because everything was $1. Rent was probably $45. He earned a BA in political science from Indiana University and then an MA in foreign affairs from the University of Virginia. After grad school, he volunteered for the Army Reserve's Training Corps, went to intelligence school, and chose to be stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas, in Tornado Alley as a lieutenant. He said, "Look, get me back to those tornadoes. I want to get back to Tornado Alley. Get me out of here." He made a career at the Environmental Protection Agency and retired in 2003. So this is storm chasing daddy, I guess. So is he still alive? Does anyone know? Is it in here? So he's the pioneer of storm chasing. He founded Storm Track in 1977 following an impromptu meetup with a handful of early storm chasers at the American Meteorology Society's 10th conference on severe local storms in Omaha, Nebraska. I would love to see the crowd at the American Meteorologist Society's 10th conference on severe local storms in Omaha, Nebraska. I am desperate to see who came out to that in the year 1977. So it began as a newsletter to connect widely dispersed chasers. He edited Storm Track from 1977 to 1986, after which it was handed off to Tim Marshall, and then it became a magazine. He continued submitting writing, photographs, and sketches to the magazine. He was written for the World Meteorological Organization and wrote a referred article on a tornado spawned by Hurricane David. He's also provided advice and sketches for Storm Talk, the Storm Chase Manual, Tornado Talk, and the Storm Chaser's Handbook. They have some literature in this community, I must say. Although he generally eschews it publicly, Hoadley has occasionally allowed journalists to join him on chases or granted interviews. I love that he barely lets them come. He's like, if you have a good vibe, you can come. If not, get out. Where was I? His photographs and him have appeared in publications around the world like Time Life, National Geographic, Scientific American, the Chicago Tribune, USA Today, and on television he has appeared on National Geographic Explorer, ABC's Day One and the History Channel. He is a meticulous record keeper, and he taught himself meteorology, which is hard as shit. It's so much math. I could never do that. And he developed a pattern recognition based on forecasting method, primarily using surface data. He's witnessed over 200 tornadoes and driven approximately 750,000 miles while chasing. Many of these miles accumulated because he frequently drove to the Great Plains from his home in Virginia. So he was in Virginia and was like, I need to be with the tornadoes. So I was literally right when I was joking. He delivered a keynote speech about his storm chasing career in its 50th year, which was 2006, at the Tessa National Storm Conference, where he was honored in a tribute dinner. So this is him on Day One TV broadcast. And I think I actually am going to switch mics so that you guys can hear it better.
It could be the most famous tornado of them all. Dorothy and Toto fighting the winds, riding the twister on to Oz. For many of us, this was our first encounter with a tornado, and we were fascinated. But real life is a lot more frightening.
Is that better?
Especially
is it louder?
Now at the height of tornado season. Just this past weekend, there were reports of 17 twisters touching down around the country. And yet, despite the risk, there's always a handful of people out there who never seem to lose their fascination with tornadoes, who spend all their free time actually chasing them down. They call themselves storm chasers, and we found one of the best. His name is Dave Hoadley, and he took us along for the ride.
Winds produced up to 60 miles an hour. Tornado activity appears imminent. Storm moving southeast.
We have a tornado watch that's been issued until 10 o'clock tonight, and that covers the northern two-thirds of the state of Iowa. You want to keep posted to 1040 WHO Radio. We will be providing you with hourly updates, and of course,
Basically, I started chasing as a teenager while living with my parents in Bismarck, North Dakota. And I remember hearing the thunder outside very loud, crashing and rolling around.
It was Dave Hoadley's first big storm, July 1956. The aftermath was captured on an old 8mm home movie camera.
Electricity was out for most of the city. Big old cottonwoods you couldn't get your arms around were pulled out by the roots, laying down. And I remember
To be
from
fair,
that
there
night,
isn't that much to
even
do in
this day,
Bismarck.
it was,
Tornadoes, big news.
Just a very moving experience for a young kid like me. And ever since then, I've been hooked on storms, started studying them with the intent of getting photographs of these storms, a record of them, a trophy, if you will.
tornado on the ground.
For 30 years, Dave has gone looking for tornadoes and has found them, photographed them, documented them more than 75 times.
He's the OG.
Seeing
Now
that
it was over
darkness
200.
spreading across the sky and the lightning snapping the ground all around you. And you're standing out there in a field all by yourself and feel the Gulf winds pulling at your clothes, whipping your hair, and you feel like almost you could be drawn up into the storm. And you imagine yourself on that roller coaster riding through that thunderhead and just imagining what it's
Why does it sound like he kind of wants the tornado to pick him up? Has anyone checked on him in a while?
like. Kind of becoming a part of it in a way. That's part of the experience.
Every spring, he spends 3 weeks on the road, driving thousands of miles, looking for that elusive twister.
It is a long drive. In a period of 3 weeks, I consider myself lucky if I can see 2 or 3 tornadoes, and that would be an average of about 4,000 to 5,000 miles for each tornado.
That's insane. Do you think they've ever
When I'm not
explored each
chasing
other's
storms,
bodies?
I am an employee at the Environmental Protection Agency, and
See, we all need to try and get federal jobs, because, like, why do you have that much PTO as an EPA employee? I'm not mad. I'm just jealous.
Washington, D.C., much of the usual kind of work that many bureaucrats do in Washington. For me, when I leave work and come out here, it's putting a lot of things behind me. It's going into a different kind of a life, a different kind of a world.
That's like kind of the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I hate how the videos handle that. David Hoadley romancing the storm.
Ask 1 million Washington area residents about our weather, and 999,999 of them will tell you it's great in the springtime. Moderate temperatures, sunshine, gentle breezes. One of them will say that's when the weather is really dull. That 1 in a million is a fellow named Hoadley,
I love old news, because you didn't have to say all that.
soft-spoken budget analyst for the government. But it's not what he does for a living that interested us.
Fun.
It's the fact that he gets out of town every spring to pursue a stormy love affair.
Is he married? That's probably why he doesn't want reporters tagging along. You'll ruin the vibes.
It's a natural phenomenon, which I guess I enjoy, like some people enjoy the sequoias in California or Big Sur out there. It's something that's kind of hard to explain because it speaks to me at many levels.
There's nothing new about a married man having an affair, but few mistresses, if any, are this explosive.
What? To just be saying anything.
Any other avocation or hobby that people get into, like even surfing or mountain climbing or hang gliding. It takes a certain amount of skill. You study the situation. You have a goal to reach. You have an objective. You learn everything you can about it. And then you go out and do it.
For 2 or 3 weeks every May, Dave Hoadley leaves home and hearth and EPA budgets behind and heads for the Central Plains to chase tornadoes.
People cheat. Anyway, tornadoes.
So I began chasing in the middle 50s when the National Weather Service, what was then the Weather Bureau, was just starting to forecast these storms and trying to do it with any accuracy. So after being...
All right, so that was more footage about David. I don't love these videos. So moving on to a different guy, Neil Ward. Neil Berger Ward, born in 1942, RIP, died in 1972, was a different guy that was credited as the first scientific storm chaser. So I guess the David Hoadley guy, he was just out there because he liked it. Neil Ward is the first one that was like doing science out there, developing ideas of thunderstorm and tornado structure and evolution, as well as techniques for, oh, I thought they meant like evolution, like from the monkeys. And I was like, oh, interesting crossover. But they mean evolution of the tornado. Got it. Where was I? As well as techniques for forecasting severe weather intercept? What does that mean? Anyway, I'm such an idiot. He was also a pioneering developer of physical models of tornadoes, first at his home and then at the National Severe Storms Laboratory in Norman, Oklahoma. He significantly furthered the modern scientific understanding of atmospheric vortices, I don't know, particularly tornadoes. He first studied mechanical engineering at the University of Oklahoma. In 1939, he began working for the Weather Bureau as well as a weather observer and eventually became a forecaster. He got scholarships, went to Texas A&M, then University of Oklahoma, then Colorado State. My man loves education. Goddamn, I could never go to school for that long. I say as a teacher. He studied fluid mechanics and developed an increasing interest in atmospheric vortices. By the early 1950s, he was a research assistant at the NSSL, like we said, from its first year in operation until he died in 1972. And he began actively pursuing storms on the road in 1961, coordinating with radar information via the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. So yeah, he was doing science, but the other guy was out there first. This is the Neil Ward model.
Confirmation of this multiple vortex idea came from Neil Ward, working with a physical tornado model at the National Severe Storms Laboratory. In a process known as vortex breakdown, air, which usually moves upward inside a funnel, is pulled downward. Vortex breakdown can lead to multiple vortex development. After vortex breakdown, the outer wall of the tornado becomes thinner. in that thin outer wall, a certain critical value may be reached.
Cool.
When the
Science is
confirmation of
science. So, the first coordinated storm chasing activity sponsored by institutions was taken part of the Alberta Hail Studies Project beginning in 1969. Vehicles were outfitted with various meteorological instrumentation and hail catching apparatus and were directed to suspected hail regions of thunderstorms by a controller at a radar site. The controller communicated with them via radio. In 1972, the University of Oklahoma, in cooperation with the National Severe Storms Laboratory, began the Tornado Intercept Project, the first outing taking place on April 19th of 1972. This was the first large-scale tornado chasing activity sponsored by any institution. This is the beginning. The 70s feels so fitting for that. It culminated in a brilliant success in 1973 with the Union City, Oklahoma tornado, providing a foundation for tornado and supercell morphology that proved the efficacy of the storm chasing field research. The project produced the first legion of veteran storm chasers with Hoadley's Storm Track magazine, bringing the community together in 1977. Storm chasing then reached popular culture in three major spurts. In 1978, with the broadcast of the television program In Search Of, in 1985 with the documentary on PBS series Nova, and in May 1996 with the theatrical release of Twister, a Hollywood blockbuster that provided an action-packed but heavily fictionalized glimpse of the hobby. They're like, our culture is not your costume. That was not accurate. Further early exposure to storm chasing resulted from notable magazine articles beginning in the late 1970s in Weatherwise magazine. Various television programs and increased coverage of severe weather by news media, especially since the initial video revolution in where VHS became widespread. This substantially elevated awareness and interest in storms and storm chasing. Once people realized, oh, I can take a badass video of myself next to the tornado, then they were in. It seems like David Holey and then that other guy, they were only in for like personal reasons where they were like genuine. Like the later guy wanted science. David Holey was like, this just speaking something to me. I think he needs to talk about that with a therapist. I'm going to be honest. But these new guys, they're just like, looks pretty fucking cool. Doesn't it? Keep that shit on the VHS. Like, they show people when they come over. Like, that when they have a bitch over, they're like, oh. Like, you know when they pick up a woman from the bar, they're like, I have something I want to show you. It's a fucking them in a tornado. Would that work on me? Anyway. So, a sharp increase has also happened. Where was I lost my place. Okay, so it became more popular in the mid to late 90s. The internet contributed to that as well. And a sharp increase in the general public impulsivity, wandering about their local area in search of tornadoes, is similarly is largely attributed to these three factors. In the 2007 to 2011 Discovery Channel reality series Storm Chasers produced another surge in activity. Over the years, the nature of chasing and the characteristics of chasers has shifted. What do they mean, the characteristics of chasers? From their advent in the 1970s until the mid-1990s, scientific field projects were occasionally conducted in the Great Plains during the spring. The first of the semi-annual Vortex projects occurred in 1994 to 1995 and was soon followed by various field experiments each spring with another large project, Vortex 2, in 2009 to 2010. Since the mid-1990s, most storm chasing science, with the notable exception of large field projects, consist of mobile Doppler weather radar intercepts. So they have like a mobile radar, I guess. And these still just feel like the very science-y people. So what are they actually doing? Chasing involves driving thousands of miles in order to witness a relatively short window of active thunderstorms. It's not uncommon for them to come up empty-handed. Their degrees of involvement widely vary. Some chasers spend a significant amount of time forecasting before going out on the road as well as during, utilizing various sources for weather data. Most of them are not meteorologists, and many chasers expend a significant time and effort in learning meteorology and the intricacies of the severe convective storm prediction through both study and experience. Besides the copious driving, it is punctuated by long periods of waiting with ceaseless action. So downtime can consist of sitting under sun-baked skies for hours. They play sporting events with each other. That's kind of cute. I'm kind of obsessed with that. They evaluate data or they visit landmarks while awaiting convective initiation. I'm gonna be honest, it sounds like you guys just want to hang out. Sounds like you want a boys trip. You don't have to see a tornado to hang out with your friends. You can just do that. That's totally fine. When storms are occurring, there's often little or no time to eat or relieve oneself, and finding fuel can cause frustrating delays and detours. Navigating obstacles such as rivers and areas with inadequate road networks is also a paramount concern. This does not sound like a fun hobby at all. Only a handful of chasers decide to chase in Dixie Alley, an area of the southern United States in which trees and road networks heavily obscure storms and often large tornadoes. The combination of driving and waiting has been likened to extreme sitting. A bust occurs when the storms do not fire, but sometimes they are referred to as severe clear, when storm fires are missed. When storm fires are meager, or when storm fires are after dusk. Most chasing, I guess they couldn't see it or they missed it. Most chasing is accompanied by driving a motor vehicle, whether it's a sedan, pickup truck, or SUV. I've seen them literally out there in Honda Civics. Research projects sometimes employ aircraft as well. So this is a YouTuber storm chasing. I got right next to this monster tornado.
Yeah, we gotta go.
No shit, honey.
We don't want to mess with that. We don't want to mess with that. It's coming right at us, chat. Oh my gosh.
It's going to pick up that train.
Waverly, Nebraska, take cover.
It's April 26, 2024,
You take cover.
and a powerful tornado is touching down in my old hometown of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Guys, it's going to hit those buildings. It's not good. Oh, it's going to... Oh, shit.
Sitting just northeast of the strengthening tornado, I carefully position myself just outside of the tornado's path, giving me an incredible vantage point as the tornado approaches the highway.
It's gonna go just behind us. It's gonna go just behind us, I think.
I'm scared. What's beeping?
It's gonna go. It's gonna cross right in front of us, guys. Big fire.
Okay, not that it's the most dangerous thing, but why are you on the wrong side of the road with no seatbelt on?
A tornado here. Oh my gosh.
Why?
This is not good.
Yeah,
this is
no
really
shit.
not good.
As proceeds to sit there.
Wipers going.
We don't need the wipers. Why is that your concern right now?
Hear the roar.
Holy shit.
We're very close range, guys. We gotta be very careful.
You're alone. We're not there with you.
Get us back to the mount.
Is this edited? This looks crazy. This is really not good. He sounds so happy.
We're still good. I think we're fine, but we're almost in the debris cloud here. This is absolutely unreal.
Not the Acura. Acura, move. Move your fucking ass.
Share the stream, guys. Share the stream.
This is why, I like streaming like this, but streaming then, you might die. Share the stream. Those would be your last words. Now the Acura's moving, huh?
Extreme close range. We're about to be in the outside of the tornado here.
Is that a tumbleweed? We have to be careful. Takes off seatbelt, parks near it on the wrong side of the road, actively streaming.
Oh shoot! All right, we gotta watch out for the debris.
Don't piss me off.
Around the tornado. All right, we're good. We gotta get to that Waverly Road. We gotta get to that Waverly Road. We're in the debris cloud. We gotta watch our windows. I just had a piece of debris hit my side window. Violent tornado here, Waverly, Nebraska.
Windows open in the debris cloud.
Pieces of insulation coming in. That was the most insane tornado intercept I've ever had, guys. You just watch that live.
They get the
After
best
watching
footage.
the
They really do.
tornado pass directly over Interstate 80, I exit off and head back after the tornado as it nears the town of Waverly, Nebraska.
Keep following it, for sure. Fucking 9 cameras at once. Let's do it.
Watch out for debris here. Watch
They
debris,
really
watch
like the
debris.
word debris.
Where's it? We gotta get a road here. There it is, right there. Don't want to lose a tire. Don't want to lose a tire.
Smash that like and subscribe. Runs a red light. Smash that like and subscribe button or debris might smash my Toyota. This is our north option.
Right, here we go.
Maybe south? Just a thought.
Intercept this thing close range.
We're gonna intercept it. You just saw it. You need to see it again.
Oh my gosh, there it is.
This is so concerning. What are you doing? Why are you literally driving straight into the path? He kind of looks like Shaggy. I see
Here
it.
we go. Here we go. It's gonna be close range. It's gonna be close range. I see it, buddy. I see it.
Continues
Storm
driving
chaser.
towards it. I'm a
It's
storm
gonna cross
chaser.
right in front
Yeah.
of us. It's gonna cross right here.
Again. There it goes again.
It's gonna cross right in front of us. Here we go. Here comes the RFD. Hey Ryan, I'm about 200 yards from this tornado northeast of Lincoln.
Who's Ryan? What are you...
Oh gosh.
What are you
here we
doing?
go. Debris. We got debris.
The
flying.
debris. Oh, maybe the wipers weren't redundant.
Here we come. Sheet metal, big sheet metal. We gotta stop. We gotta stop.
Oh, yeah.
We don't want to blow out our side window here.
Don't worry about the literal tornado, but the sheet metal should stop everybody in their tracks.
We gotta be very careful. Violent tornado continues. Gotta watch the side window.
Oh, a command center on the stream?
We gotta watch the power lines here too.
Brian Hall, y'all, the tornado YouTuber. Oh, probably.
Yeah, there it is.
Why are you still driving towards it?
Yeah, power lines are down. Alright, stop right here.
Okay, now we're stopping.
There it is. Right there, guys. It's right there. We're in the tornado right now.
Why? Why is the question?
Watch this live wires. It's right there. Look at a violent tornado. Violent vortex. Violent vortex right there. Very close range. Look at this. This is unbelievable.
As the tornado dances over open farmland, it soon lifts just north of Waverly.
There's Reed. All right, let's go.
Oh, they
However,
are like a
the
little
day is
crew.
far from over,
Interesting.
as
This is a whole
only
world
one
I
of
don't
the
know
first
about.
tornadoes
That's why I
that would
picked
soon
this
to
for our
become
topic.
a major tornado outbreak for Nebraska and Iowa. So buckle up because this next video is going to be even more extreme.
This could be an F5, honestly. This is...
So yikes. Is this the same one? I need to figure that out with the autoplay. So, the Twister movie effect in 1996. This revolutionized storm chasing by bringing it mainstream. Prior to the movie, storm chasing was a niche hobby primarily pursued by weather researchers and enthusiasts. The film's dramatic portrayal introduced many people to the world. It was very successful, grossing nearly $500 million. Someone in the chat was saying the remake was good. I haven't seen either of them. This created a surge in interest. Chaser tours and media coverage expanded, leading to the proliferation of new storm chasers and an increase in the sale of storm footage. The movie dramatized storm chasing. I don't really think they had to dramatize it. And attracted a broader audience of people seeking thrill and adventure. Following Twister, storm chasing became more commercialized. Tour companies offer storm chasing experiences, and chasers have sold footage and profited from tornado fever. Media attention increased with TV shows like Storm Chasers amplifying the drama. So this is the trailer from 1996.
Storm chasers. Let's go.
forever, but still nobody knows how a tornado works.
We have touchdown. Tornado is on the ground.
Why is there fire?
It's a wonder of nature, baby!
These sensors take scientific measurements.
You gotta get in front of the tornado and put it in the damage path.
You gotta get further ahead of it.
I know what I'm doing.
Have you lost your nerve?
Tighten your seatbelt. It's at 2 o'clock. It's heading this way.
The storm's gonna be a lot bigger than we anticipated.
Not the cow.
Now, I gotta go, Julia. We got cows.
Oh, I should watch this. It does look kind of good.
They're in the barricade!
Is there an F5?
No, you're too close! It's not gonna work! Get out of here! It's headed right for us! Get out, look out!
Watch it in the daylight. Okay.
Did you see my cows out front?
No.
So I need to watch that. So, the rise of the tours. Storm chasing tours in Tornado Alley, covering the American plains from March to June, have become increasingly more popular. They range from $2,000 to $4,500, depending on duration and luxury. What does the low budget one look like? With demand high, many tours sell out well in advance. About a quarter to a third of participants are from outside the U.S., attracted by the unique storm experience only available in America, because there's no way this would be legal in other countries. They usually travel in vans and try and photograph storms while maintaining a safe distance. The National Weather Service advises against storm chasing due to safety risk, although it acknowledges that professional tours are a safer option than individual chase. Oh my God, we're so embarrassing as a nation. Tour operators emphasize safety. They require waivers, provide detailed safety briefings, but acknowledge the inherent risk. The success of the movie and the sequel Twisters has also heavily influenced the storm chasing tourism industry. Media portrayals drive interest and attract more tourists, although the surge in popularity can lead to logistical challenges for tour operators. So, notable storms, obviously there's a lot of them, but these are some interesting or important things that happened. So 1973, the Union City, Oklahoma tornado was a violent tornado that touched down several miles northwest of Union City and moved southeastward through the city before it turned and traveled for several more miles. Estimated damage totaled $1 million. It destroyed 27 homes and 18 mobile homes. In addition, 20 homes sustained major damage. 23 homes had minor damage. Several commercial buildings and churches were damaged. Farm animals were killed and crops were damaged. 2 people were killed while 4 people were injured, with 2 people being seriously injured. It was noted that the intensity of destruction was immense. There was also 2 funnels reported in the area at the time of the event, which was one of the most thoroughly studied tornadoes in history, as multiple research scientists documented the event through experimental Doppler and storm chase teams. So, this is some film of it. Imagine building Storm Chaser into your sense of identity. I think I'm about to. Okay, your little intros, we get it. Very 1973 core. Is there anything else, or is it just more of this? It's a tornado. It's big. I think we gathered that. So, 1991, Andover, Kansas tornado. The National Weather Service warned of an upcoming severe weather system with potential of tornadoes across the central and southern plains. By the next day, high risk of severe weather was forecasted, especially in the Great Plains, due to that low pressure system situation. In this unstable environment, storms began early on April 26th in Oklahoma and moved into Kansas. A particularly dangerous situation tornado watch was issued, and by the afternoon, supercell storms erupted, triggering widespread tornado outbreak from Texas to Iowa. Violent tornadoes were concentrated in southern Kansas and Oklahoma, but other states like Nebraska and Texas saw intense tornadoes as well. In total, 55 tornadoes were confirmed April 26th, ranging from F0 to F5. Most notable was an F5 that struck Andover, Kansas, causing 17 fatalities and 225 injuries. Oh my God, are people fighting? The event produced multiple other significant tornadoes that caused severe damage as well, and overall this severe outbreak resulted in widespread destruction across multiple states, with numerous homes, businesses, and farmlands damaged or destroyed, along with the several fatalities and injuries. This one looks a little crazier, because there's buildings. Just learning about someone very petty. It's gonna hit the cars, you guys. I'm scared. Alright. Hurry up. I want the death to be faster. Oh, it's gonna hit the buildings. Who's filming this? Shouldn't they go inside? This is the famous Air Force Base footage. Oh, apparently. Duke Evans, 1991 video of the Andover tornado. Copyright 1991 Duke Evans. Is that a man or a company? It's like an optical illusion. How has it not hit that building yet? Oh, I guess it's about to, but I feel like it should have a while ago. It's kind of... Yeah, zoom on in. He's wondering too. He's like, you should be here by now. What are you doing? Does it ever hit? Oh, is it going like to side the other way? I guess it's going to the side. I hear if you see a tornado and it looks like it's not moving, it's because it's hurtling right at you. Oh, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Exactly. I was like, oh, that probably means it's leaving. Awesome. Oh. Okay. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Don't do that. The houses. Look at those houses. I bet those were really cheap. 1991. How is it not destroying anything? I don't understand this. Has it just been hurtling at us this whole time? But like, are we hurtling away from it? Yikes. They should have had the other storm chaser out there. He would have gotten closer. This is McConnell Air Force Base. I think this is what you were talking about. It's very large. Phrasing. That's just how big it is. It's so far away, but yeah, it looks so close. This is famous. When do things start to pick up? Oh, it looks like there. People are screaming, so it sounds like it's not going well. Holy shit. You got this on camcorder? Is that a fire? I guess it's like blowing shit up. The siren was overstimulating me. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Why are they like looking outside at it? Get into an interior room. Oh, that just fucked everybody's cars. Jesus Christ. So another significant one, the Joplin, Missouri tornado. I think I actually remember this. The total damage from this tornado amounted to $2.8 billion, making it the costliest tornado in U.S. history at that time. It also resulted in the highest insurance payout in Missouri's history, surpassing the previous record of $2 billion set by a hailstorm in 2001. It left a significant portion of the city in ruins, with entire neighborhoods leveled and thousands of people displaced. The human toll of the Joplin tornado was staggering. It killed 158 people directly, with an additional 8 deaths occurring indirectly as a result of the storm. 1,150 people were injured, making it the deadliest tornado, one of the deadliest tornadoes in U.S. history. It was the deadliest tornado in the United States since the F5 that struck Woodward, Oklahoma in 1947. In terms of fatalities, it ranked as the 7th deadliest in U.S. history and the deadliest ever recorded in Missouri. It's also the first tornado since the Flint Beecher tornado in Michigan in 1953 to cause more than 100 deaths. Base hunters. Jesus, that's loud. I kind of wish I had put like pictures of the destruction instead. I can never type. Okay, so that's obviously super bad, but look at like the destruction. That is crazy. Entire fucking neighborhoods leveled. Yeah, we're definitely going to do more of that. I feel like we've seen enough videos of tornadoes. So 2013, the El Reno, Oklahoma tornado was in rural Oklahoma. It was a record-breaking 2.6 miles in width. The rain wrapped the multiple vortex tornado and quickly produced extreme wind speeds exceeding 313 miles an hour, some of the highest ever observed on Earth, and it traveled for over open terrain for 16.2 miles, sparing a densely populated area. I want to look at that one. So, despite staying mostly over rural land, it caused 8 deaths and 151 injuries, notably 4 storm chasers, including the well-known Tim Samaras and his son Paul and Carl Young were killed in the tornado subvortex when it struck them. So, RIP, the storm chasers got by the tornado. That's terrible. I wonder like if that divided the storm chasing community. Many people in Oklahoma tried to flee by car, which created terrible traffic conditions. Had the tornado maintained its strength, the congested roads would have led to even greater loss of life. And due to its size, erratic behavior, and the deaths of the storm chasers, it's one of the most famous tornadoes in history, calling it the most dangerous tornado in storm observing history. Because look, it's literally huge. Look how large this tornado was. This is absolutely crazy. Yeah, it was bad. Location with maximum width and intensity. The storm chasers killed in El Reno. The day storm chasing lost its innocence. I don't think it was ever that innocent, if we're being honest. That is a huge storm. I mean, it seems like the other storm chasers got great picks. That's terrible, though. Inside tumbling TWC vehicle trapped inside the tornado. Is there a person in the vehicle?
Hold on, brothers. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on is right.
Everybody just go. Just keep going if you can. Keep going if you can. Everybody duck down.
Did they live? I'm scared to ask. I don't think I want to know. Here's that tornado. Yeah, I remember the sirens going off and pulling into a mattress store to ride it out. I'm scared too. Weather is scary. Jesus Christ. Kraz, I'm glad you're still here. Sir. I left and returned.
Go horizontal.
It's literally coming directly towards them.
Wow.
It's like disappearing and remaking itself. No wonder people died. So, tools of the trade, historical. Radio equipment they've used for communication to receive radio fax data. Pre-laptop era, they used acoustic couplers to download raw weather data via payphones. There's so much technology I don't know about. And geographical data like radar and satellite images were not available, so data analysis was done manually with software like Weather Graphics and Sharp, with updates obtained from rural airstrips or NOAA weather radio. So then they started to get more advanced with laptops, VHS camcorders. Then they started relying on Weather Channel for updates. And then the 1990s saw the introduction of mobile TVs. Can we do this? A ride along with Storm Chasers when? Fraz, you just missed. We literally saw, like, there's a company that does this, and it's like $4,000, and you don't even see the tornado. So, absolutely, we can do that. So anyway, what was I saying? So once they got mobile TVs and mobile phones for communication and the internet, things started going a lot better. And marine radars and lightning detection helped as well. Then we saw an emergence of GPS technology. Then we started to get Wi-Fi. So obviously technology like positively impacts them. Smartphones, tablets, now we have better videos. This is building a tornado. It's to fit all their extra equipment that they need. Is this safe? I love the time-lapse moment he's doing. I want to like see us further along in the setup. Lots of wires. Multiple outfit changes. This took him a while. With all the electrics running. Well, that's what the tornado's for. It cools it down. That's why they left the windows open, obviously. I want to see the final look. Install the monitor and finishing up. That's what I'm talking about. Is he gonna put the seat back in or no? Okay, yeah, seats are going back. Perfect. A full-size TV. That is perfect. Exactly what we need. Oh my god, all the seats are... The way he made it like a normal car again. So literally anyone could be a storm chaser. Like any car going down the street could be a storm chaser. It took him a week to do this. So, risk involved in storm chasing. Obviously, it's dangerous as shit. There's tornadoes, large hail, flooding, treacherous road conditions, rain, hail. Chasers also face potential threats from downed power lines, animals in the roadway, greatly reduced visibility because of rain and dust. While tornadoes themselves affect a relatively small areas, they can often be avoided by skilled chasers. These dangers require caution and expertise. Successful storm chasers must maintain situational awareness, keep a safe distance, and ensure they always have an escape route. In the northern hemisphere, this often means staying away from the north and east of a tornado's path. One of the greatest risks in storm chasing is lightning, which remains unpredictable and cannot be avoided. Chasers also face significant risks when engaging in practices like core punching, which involves driving through heavy participation core to reach the heart of a storm. This method can be extremely dangerous due to reduced visibility and the fact that tornadoes are often rain-wrapped, making them difficult to spot. Another hazardous area is the bear's cage, the region under a rotating wall cloud where tornadoes, the bear, can be hidden by walls of blinding precipitation and large hail, the cage. Chasing at night increases risk even more, I would imagine so, as darkness makes it harder to spot storms and funnel clouds. The most significant hazard is driving. Severe weather complicates road conditions, like we said. Also, another one is fatigue for very long drives, especially at night. What's this? Risk and benefits of the competitive storm chasing. I'm still choosing the bear.
No, turn now! Go south! Fred, if you don't go south, we're gonna die!
Storm chasers, sometimes of the amateur variety like those two, go in search of the world's most dangerous vortexes. Last Friday, a group of men who devoted their lives to hunting powerful storms died in the middle of the chase. 55-year-old Tim Samaras, his 24-year-old son Paul, and 45-year-old Carl Young were killed following a tornado in El Reno, Oklahoma, a storm that claimed 11 other lives. Their work tracking tornadoes was featured on the former Discovery Channel show Storm Chasers. The tragedy is casting new attention on the competitive storm chasing phenomenon.
And raising a lot of questions about whether the value of this kind of research outweighs the risks.
This is what men want to do now that we don't send them to war, except we still do send them to war somehow. They're doing both.
And the chair of UW Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences. Welcome back to Live at 5.
Thanks for having me again.
Good to see you again. Now,
I
Tim
feel like this
Samaras,
table height is
was
really
well known in
weird.
the scientific community. He was not a thrill seeker. He was a pretty accomplished scientist.
Yeah, I'd been at this for a long
It's more voluntary now.
And he was known for doing things safely, and he died doing everything right. So that really speaks to the danger of this
Exactly.
activity.
It does. We're talking about
He
a
kind of
storm
looks like
that may
Brennan
go
from
down
Step
as
Brothers.
the biggest storm in terms of its radius of all time for a tornado. And so this is kind of an unprecedented event, and even with 15 or more years of experience, that set of unusual circumstances led to this tragedy.
That's for your local
There
news.
is some scientific benefit, I would think, to getting these measurements on the ground.
There is.
It's just getting that equipment there in the storm. That's the risk.
That's right. There is great benefit to that. Some people are clamoring around and saying that, we really shouldn't be doing any of this kind of chasing. That's a fine line because there is a lot of new observations of these tornadic storms that come out of the work that Tim and others like him have been doing for years. And we can't make a pinpoint forecast of a tornado. Therefore, we can't go out ahead of time, put down a set of observing equipment and wait for the storm to come. So there is a real advantage to going and getting some of that information. It's led to some better understanding of these storms.
Is it possible to
Tornadic, that's a word.
The best of the best in the business?
No, I don't think
do
so.
it?
I don't think it is. I think it's a really a dangerous enterprise, and you really have to approach it with more caution than eagerness, I would say.
And then you get the amateurs like this video we have here where they're actually in the debris field. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
This is
there's
ridiculous.
ways to be very
Don't
safe
shame
and
them.
prudent about the way you might go about these storms. I know Tim and people like him who are really, they should be regarded as professionals at this. They'll have a whole chain of command, people who are somewhere safe, monitoring conditions while they're on the road. And so there's a whole level of communication that allows them to know where to go and how to steer into the right position and get themselves safe.
But again, like you're saying, to get themselves safe, he literally died in this storm.
A lot of these people who are doing it sort of seat of the pants with their information right on board their vehicle are simply not in a position to make those kinds of snap judgments.
Approach it with more caution than eagerness. Show him the YouTube streams.
In a bad position. He didn't know exactly why, is my guess, but he knew that it wasn't good, and that's not where you want to be.
And we speak a little bit about the phenomenon of this that we mentioned at the top of the show, and you were talking about seeing GPS images of the traffic, cars in the Oklahoma City area.
Right. It was taken about 6 p.m., I think, 2 days or whenever it was on Friday. And the rush hour is over in Oklahoma City by about 5:30. So there was people who lived
not a
there
rush
testified to
hour.
that. So these were not people trying to get home. These were mostly, not all entirely, but mostly people out looking for the storm. Now, it's impossible for me to believe that there were 50 to 60 vehicles manned by people who really know what they're doing. So unfortunately, some large fraction of that number of people don't know what they're doing, and yet they're in the way of people who do know what they're doing and can't get out of harm's way.
So that's a lot to unpack there. Oh, this is Irma. We'll skip over that. Storm chasing van overturns. I'm scared. Why is his keyboard an American flag? I don't like that. They're in the bear cage where it does the rain. They don't know. They don't know about the bear cage. We know about the bear cage. So, some famous storm chasers, starting off, rest in peace. He was a professional. We're not going to victim blame. Timothy Michael Samaras was a renowned American engineer and storm chaser, recognized for his groundbreaking tornado research and appearances on the show Storm Chasers. His fascination with tornadoes began in childhood, inspired by The Wizard of Oz. He was largely self-taught, and he became an expert in engineering and weather without a formal college degree. He built a successful career, notably at the University of Denver Research Institute, an applied research associate, contributing to airline crash investigations and blast testing. So that was his day job, I guess. Samaras founded the TwistX research team focusing on tornado science. He developed innovative weather probes and captured detailed tornado data, and in 2003, his probe recorded the largest atmospheric pressure drop ever documented. TwistX and its research were largely funded by National Geographic, which awarded him 18 research grants. Over his career, he tracked more than 125 tornadoes, co-founded the National Storm Chasers Convention, and contributed significantly to advancing warning times for tornadoes. His son Paul and team member Carl Young also tragically died in the 2013 El Reno tornado, the widest tornado ever recorded. The unexpected changes in the tornado's path and intense winds made it difficult to escape, which led to their deaths. This event marked the first time storm chasers were killed by a tornado, sparking discussions about storm chasing tactics. Despite the tragedy, his legacy continues through his contributions to meteorological science and is remembered as a careful and pioneering researcher. And here's the news report.
Among the 13 people killed in the Oklahoma twister were 3 men deeply involved in tornado research. ABC's Ginger Z reports on the storm chasers who knew the risks.
The tornadoes
I don't like how they keep victim blaming them, but I guess they were there.
In 2 weeks, and they were deadly. The interstates packed with terrified families, drivers trying to escape before the tornadoes hit. They had just survived the tornado the week before. The mother and child killed, pulled from their car by the twister. And we have learned of 3 more lives lost. 3 veteran storm chasers now among the dead. Tim Samaras, his son Paul, and their colleague Carl Young, all trying to document the storm. Tim was found seatbelted in his car. The others pulled from the car by the tornado. One was found a half-mile away.
Damn.
745, snail deployed, large tornado.
Tim, who led the team, was an esteemed scientist. In the storm-chasing community, he was known not only as one of the best, but as one of the most cautious.
He would show genuine concern of our safety going in, and we lost someone that probably has already saved countless lives with his research.
He chased because he wanted to learn, to improve warning systems and help meteorologists better forecast tornadoes in the future.
Andy's serving
Just this
face.
past year, we documented one of his scientific expeditions, Tim and his son taking us along. One of their many goodbyes to his wife, Kathy.
See you later.
Have a good trip.
I'm gonna cry.
Much of his recent research funded
Not
by
Kathy.
National Geographic. In a statement, they said, "We are shocked and deeply saddened. He was a courageous and brilliant scientist who fearlessly pursued tornadoes and lightning in an effort to better understand these phenomena." On our trip, Samaras showed me his baby, the Kahuna, what could be the fastest camera in the world. Actually, 82 cameras in one. It helped him firsthand studying the birth of a lightning strike. Our journey took us 800 miles in 4 states. But
Damn.
he also knew the real dangers of doing this.
At times, I have mixed feelings about chasing these storms. On one hand, they are incredibly beautiful. On the other hand, these powerful storms can create devastating damage that change people's lives forever.
At the end of our chase, Tim told me it was his desire to know more, to inform us all, that fueled him to go out again.
I don't know how many storms I've seen in my lifetime, but every single one of them, I still get pretty excited.
I'm gonna
Little
cry.
boy in me
He
just
seems
wants
so
to come out here
nice.
and just watch and stare.
I know that he will be remembered as a great man, a wonderful husband, a scientist, and father. We hope that his research will live on forever and others will pick it up and we can keep learning more. Ginger Z, ABC News, El Reno, Oklahoma.
It's such a sad story, such a loss. And there's a picture on Twitter and Facebook that's getting a lot of play. We want to show it to you. Take a look at this. The storm chaser community went out and lined themselves up to form the initials of Tim Samaras, Paul Samaras, and Carl Young. And they formed those initials. They're a great tribute there from the type.
Okay, not to be mean. Again, not to be mean, but them just lining up in the initials like really tracks. That's like a very man way to grieve. Be like, let's all... Oh, shit. All right, we're not using that mic anyway. To literally be like, all right, let's all get in a field and line up in his initials is very man. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just very man.
Tight-knit community of those storm chasers. They all know each other in the Oklahoma area.
Yeah, and it really is a
Over
touching
3
tribute.
states.
Ginger knew them. Ginger worked with them. She's also talked about how special they were. And Tim's brother Jim also gave a statement, and he essentially said that they all unfortunately passed away doing what they loved, chasing tornadoes. And now he says he looks at that as the big tornado in the sky when he thinks about his brother, his nephew, and the colleague that they worked so tightly with trying to do this research.
Not the big tornado in the
This wasn't
sky.
some guy.
Local news is like kind of a lot. I'm sad, so I don't want to watch
You know,
that.
I've been doing this for 20 years.
I can't handle
I enjoy
this. So, moving on to a different guy. Rest in peace, Tim. That was very, very sad. It seems like he was a very nice, normal guy. So, moving on to Reed Timmer, away from people passing away to something more positive. Reed Timmer is an American meteorologist and storm chaser known for his extensive career capturing severe weather events, including tornadoes and hurricanes. He grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where he developed a love for weather and science, which led him to pursue meteorology at the University of Oklahoma, where he got a PhD. His storm chasing career began in... Reed follows Trump on Twitter? Stop. His storm chasing career began in 1998 when he filmed his first tornado in Oklahoma. He gained further fame by starring in the Discovery Channel series Storm Chasers and later Tornado Chasers. Over the years, he has documented significant weather events such as the 1999 Bridge Creek Moore tornado, the 2011 super outbreak, and the 2013 El Reno tornado, where he sustained injuries. Damn, everyone was getting fucked up in El Reno. He also chased hurricanes, including Hurricane Katrina and Hurricane Ian, where he filmed inside the eye wall. He's known for his innovative storm chasing vehicles, including the Dominator series, which he used in various extreme weather scenarios. In addition to TV series and documentaries, he co-authored the book Into the Storm. Isn't that like a meme from a show? Timmer's career has been marked by thrilling cases and personal losses, such as the death of his friend and team of maybe not onto more positive things. These people are dying left and right. Joel Taylor. Today he remains an active storm chaser and content creator, continuing to chase storms and hurricanes across the U.S. Here's him.
Nice and clean, bro.
This is a hurricane in New Orleans. Ugh, the graveyard is spooky. Full submarine mode. Really sounds like you're taking it quite seriously.
Oh, that car is really in there.
Let me know about.
So that is Reed Timmer, who is apparently a Trump follower on Twitter. That could mean maybe he just wants to keep up with the news. Sean Casey is an American IMAX filmmaker and storm chaser, also known on the Discovery Channel series Storm Chasers, and with his IMAX film Tornado Alley. To capture footage inside tornadoes, he built 2 specialized vehicles, the Tornado Intercept Vehicle, TVI, and TVI-2. The original TVI was constructed in 2003 and was over $80,000. It was heavily armored with bullet-resistant windows and powered by a 7.3-liter Ford Power Stroke engine. I don't know what that means, but it sounds important. However, due to limitations like low ground clearance and 2-wheel drive, he built the TV2 in 2007. It was a more advanced 7-ton vehicle with all-wheel drive, capable of reaching over 110 miles an hour and handling rough terrain. I need to see the TV2. I'll look it up for you. TVI-2. Oh, that is the most terrifying thing I've seen in my life. That can go 110 miles an hour? Oh my God. Jesus. He earned recognition as Discover Magazine's 50 Best Minds of 2008.
On a Wyoming back road flanked by power lines, Sean Casey's filming the intercept shot he's been hunting for years.
Here it comes, rats!
But a
I'm
newly
afraid of
discovered
him.
design flaw in his turret risks getting his $100,000 camera sucked up into the funnel.
They look so happy. What are you doing? I need to watch this show. Is he playing tug of war with a tornado? He is, and he's winning. Don't worry, they have helmets. Jesus.
Coming back this way! Back up! Wheel back up!
They look literally so happy. Some might even be wearing their seatbelts. They're so happy.
We can get in this one!
Storm Chasers. Visit discovery.com/stormchasers for listings.
I need to be on that show. So, Warren Fadley is another storm chaser. He is credited as the world's first full-time professional storm photographer. His first tornado chase was in Saragossa, Texas, a small community that had been swept away by a violent F4 May 22nd, 1987. His professional career was launched October 1988 after he took a photograph of lightning hitting a pole in an oil and gasoline tank farm in Tucson, Arizona. The image was published in Life magazine, billing him as a storm chaser. And then he was the subject of the book Eye in the Storm. So this is the photo. That's baller. That is literally a super cool photo. So I get it. I get it. Like, I want to say I don't get it, but unfortunately I do get it, and it does seem kind of fun. So a growing problem, as we have mentioned, is chaser deaths. For nearly 60 years, the only known chaser deaths were driving related, but as of May 22nd, 2024, there have been 4 direct storm chasing deaths and 12 indirect deaths. Nearly half of the indirect deaths are a result of hydroplaning in the conditions after a chase. So literally like driving dangerously after the chase. Not to victim blame, but you get what I'm saying. The first was Christopher Phillips, who was a University of Oklahoma undergrad student who died in a hydroplaning accident when swerving to miss a rabbit in 1984. Other incidents include Jeff Ware driving home. Oh my God, who did that thumbs up? How did that happen? Where did that come from? That was cool. Was that from TikTok? Interesting. So anyway, Other cases include Jeff Ware, who was driving home in East Texas from a hurricane. He was swerving to miss a deer. So again, like, I was kind of right, like kind of like bad driving after the storms. A wrong way driver resulted in a head-on collision that killed Andy Gabrielson, who was on the Will Rogers Turnpike. So you did it, babe. Oh, I did? It's an iOS thing? I don't think I did that. Whatever. It was cool. It was a one-time thing, apparently. On May 31st, 2013, an extreme event led to the first known storm chaser deaths ever recorded, which we already talked a lot about, that situation. Like we said, they were kind of thrown from the vehicle and the storm just like increased in size really out of nowhere. What's this?
Visibility on this road is very, very low.
Most of the jaw-dropping
I do it on
video of
accident
this
on my
weekend's
Mac all the
tornadoes
time.
was
If you do a
taken
peace
by
sign, it does
storm chasers.
balloons.
This was recorded by a storm chaser from Australia, but moments later, the twister was chasing him. Watch as he gets rear-ended by a tractor-trailer that gets toppled by the tornado's winds.
How did I do the bubble? How did I do the bubble? That was terrifying. Do double thumbs down. What is happening? Oh. This is cool. What's double thumbs down? Is it different? We're in the tornado! I am in the tornado! I do these in meetings on accident constantly. I have never noticed this. Is this like an update or something? Happened to me in virtual therapy? Stop. Stop. Okay, anyway, back to the tornadoes.
The jaw-dropping video of this
I
weekend's
have learned too
tornadoes
much.
was taken by storm chasers. This was recorded by a storm chaser from Australia, but moments later, the twister was chasing him. Watch as he gets rear-ended by a tractor-trailer that gets toppled by the tornado's winds.
Oh, Jesus. The tornado
He
is
was not
chasing
hurt.
him.
Hold on, brothers.
A Weather Channel team whose truck flipped in a tornado also escaped without serious injury. But the deaths of veteran tornado scientist Tim Samaras, his son Paul, and researcher Carl Young near El Reno, Oklahoma, have sparked soul-searching. Val Castor is one of Samaras's fellow storm chasers.
He was a very experienced chaser. He knew what he was doing, and he knew how to stay safe. And so that's why I think that he probably got surprised by the turn on this tornado.
Castor and others we spoke
it's a
with said
tornado.
it's now common to see dozens of amateur storm chasers racing down highways or tornado tourists pulled to the side of the road.
Be for real. The photo. Be for real right now.
Many are inspired in part by the 1996 movie Twister.
After that movie Twister, that's when it started. And they think, I want to do that, you know, it looks fun.
It looks
exciting,
fun.
It's dangerous, and, you know, people want to do that kind of thing. Will the death of these three storm chasers make people think twice about going out there? Absolutely, I think it will.
For how long?
I don't know, until the next
This is
storm
why we
comes,
can't
I
have
guess.
nice things, movies.
The three men killed Friday were recording scientific data to help better understand tornadoes. Scott, storm chasers such as Val Castor are credited with helping forecasters to track and to warn others about the precise location of these dangerous storms.
Anna, with regard to Friday, it's been 3 days now. Why so many people still missing?
Well, there were two groups of people, Scott, adults and children, who tried to take shelter from the tornadoes in drainage ditches in two locations in Oklahoma City. What they didn't know was there was a second hazard heading their way. Heavy rains produced by the storms, floodwaters then washed them downriver.
Oh, Jesus.
Anna Warner, thank you very much.
I feel like he wasn't expecting such a heavy answer to that. Why didn't he respond to her? Oh my God. So while chasing severe storms, a vehicle driven by Randall Warnall, this is why I stay home. I don't leave my house, and this is why. A vehicle that was being contracted by the Weather Channel as stars of their own show, Storm Wranglers, ran a stop sign on a road and struck a vehicle that was going west. All 3 people died at the scenes, and the mother of Jaeger sued the estates of Williamson and Yarnell, as well as the Weather Channel, as there was a history of reckless driving for the pair, which the Weather Channel ignored warnings to them by other chasers, and the suit was resolved in 2021. They probably came to a settlement. Another fatality occurred, like we said, when that guy struck a deer and became disabled on the highway. As he fled the vehicle, an oncoming vehicle struck him. He later died in the hospital. So it seems like a lot of it isn't just the tornadoes, it's just like them generally being reckless. It seems like Tim Samaras is one of the few that actually the tornado directly is what killed him. 2 separate fatalities occurred in 2022. In April, 3 Oklahoma University, I guess, students Drake Brooks, Nicholas Nair, and Gavin Short died after hydroplaning while returning from a chase. And then Martha Rodriguez, a storm-chasing meteorologist from Mexico City, was killed, and 3 meteorologist colleagues were injured. 2 Chileans sustained non-threatening injuries, and the other, Bradford Barrett, an American stationed in Chile, sustained life-threatening injuries. Did he die? I guess not, they would have said. And when they stopped for downed power lines in I-90, and their vehicle was hit by a semi-truck trailer. The other incidences in which chasers were injured by automobile accidents, lightning strikes, and tornado impacts. While chasing a tornado outbreak on March 13th, 1990, Bill Miracle, a television photographer, was shot and injured. Who shot him? What do you mean he was shot? Are you supposed to be armed when you're doing the tornado chasing? So this is stupid tornado chasing, dangerous behavior.
In a previous video, we discussed many
I'm gonna speed this up a little bit.
That can get you killed chasing tornadoes.
The tornado got ops. They give tornadoes gun now.
Surprises like road closures, flooding, fallen trees, and stalled trains.
You should love when this happens.
In the shadow of tornadoes, we consider the possibility of vehicle failures, collisions, muddy roads, icy roads, huge animals in the road, and of course, deviant tornadoes suddenly changing directions. In this video, we're diving deep into predictable, dangerous behavior, the impulsive psychology nudging more and more chasers closer to the edge of death.
Yikes.
A strong storm's heaviest concentration of rain and hail is the core.
Let's get in front of that.
We talked about this.
Risk their windshields driving through the core to keep up with a storm or see a tornado on the other side. And sometimes a tornado is lurking inside the core.
That's a giant tornado, and it might be coming right this way.
Yeah, if it looks like it's not moving, it's coming to you.
Core, hoping to see a soggy, rain-wrapped tornado is highly risky and largely short-sighted.
It's coming. Giant tornado right next to me.
Both times I came close to being killed by tornadoes.
I love that it keeps putting burritos in the subtitles.
So why the hell do some of us risk so much to capture sloppy, often passed over and forgotten tornado footage like this?
Deviant tornadoes, as if there's good tornadoes. Dedication versus desperation.
A handful of you are aware of the immense dedication and sacrifice it takes to track down and capture these monsters. The pricey gear and gadgets, the expensive wear and tear, the endless driving day after day, the months of preparation each year, and the years of research. After all that investing, when that rare tornado shot is finally in your sights, the need to succeed can be a wicked influence.
It's like adrenaline. People do crazy things. And group psychology makes people do crazy things.
After my last near-death encounter in 2019, I told my family and friends I'm no longer pursuing the highly dangerous rain-wrapped tornadoes. I've learned my lesson and changed my ways. Then this year, I did it again.
Okay. So you didn't learn your lesson or change.
Losing streak and another long commute, I just missed a photogenic tornado in Nebraska. Several of my friends hit the jackpot. From the notch of another storm, I was able to capture a soggy wedge before it wrapped itself in thicker blankets of rain.
Escape routes everywhere.
This is insane. Like, I get it a little bit,
driving me beyond better judgment for a highly unlikely redeeming shot.
This guy is very metaphorical. I kind of like him, though. He's, like, pretty honest about himself, which is good. Time to go.
Going car sideways.
We love
Jason
self-awareness.
Williams of the invisible tornado raked across and rocked my vehicle as I fled. All that risk for what?
He's like, I'm an idiot. Let's reflect on it.
Some deeper internal reflection, I realized I was more susceptible to the impulses of hubris, competition, and need to succeed than I was aware, especially when caught up in the chase.
Who is his therapist? Because I need to go to them.
It's like that psycho ex you were in a toxic relationship with. You finally break up for good. You tell all your family and friends and yourself it's really over this time. Then a week or so goes by and they come by your place to collect their things, looking so
He's been through this.
promising and amazing. And what do?
Herd mentality. I'm obsessed with this video.
Really?
We're watching it on 1.25 speed, just for reference.
Thank you. It's all right. This is the typical chaos for a tornado.
In the information whirlwind of storm.
I like how the guy that pulled over was like, there's a shelter right here in this school, and he was like, fuck off, thanks.
It's easy to become overwhelmed and confused. Another disoriented chaser racing by might appear confident, and so you decide to follow them to glory. Then another clueless chaser starts following you, and pretty soon you're in a Congo line of confusion. Perhaps this is one reason we're seeing more and more convoys racing into potentially perilous situations.
Why are they going that way? Crazy.
I don't know, I trust
If
him.
you've lost situational awareness, try not to assume others know what they're doing. You may end up following a bunch of lemmings.
For some reason,
Damn.
people drove right into its path.
Those people are gonna die probably. That's terrible.
It's the most amazing thing I've ever witnessed is just spider lightning coming down.
To be a successful chaser, you're
These
really
people
gonna have
seem
to love
fun. I like them.
5,000 Cape in Texas. This is what you get.
If you don't, daily disappointment and road wear is going to coal you out fast. When that rare tornado moment is bearing down, it's easy for a tornado nut to become a transfixed sitting duck. As massive as they are, these storms have a funny way of sneaking up on you. Try to keep that in mind if you find yourself gawking at one.
I like the advice he's spitting.
Which brings us to our next topic. The most dangerous part of the storm is approaching close, but all the other chasers are still sitting there. So you sit there, but they're possibly sitting there because you're not moving.
This guy is like really good at analyzing human behavior, including his
If
own.
you're feeling it's time to scamper away, trust your lizard brain rather than the flock around you.
You guys, I'm pretty sure that was him in that video. I think he doesn't use B-roll. I think he's like getting all this random footage of like ducks. That was him. That was him.
While
That was
chasing
not
heavy rain,
footage he
you may
bought.
Find yourself anxiously speeding
Or like
at the
royalty-free
threshold of your
footage.
visibility and reaction time. I've found backing off even just a little, 3, 4, or 5 miles per hour, adds a lot of reaction time and significantly reduces chances of being overwhelmed or surprised.
Driving like a dookie of hazard.
If you see your
Say what
knuckles
you
turning
will, he's a
white,
dedicated
ask yourself,
filmmaker.
Is this really necessary?
Look out, guys.
Like he
Pass
took the
it.
video of
Be
the
one of the
tubes.
most nerve-wracking things a chaser can do in a storm, especially passing the sailing and splashing 18-wheelers.
Oh, I hate 18-wheelers for that reason. Like, thank you for your service, but I don't want to drive
If
next
you
to you.
decide to go for it, keep in mind, strong winds tend to blow things over.
Power lines are down.
Sadly, there are many drivers out there who are losing at life.
And
To
losing
them,
their lives.
Passing vehicles is just another reminder of their daily lost battles and failures. So if you're attempting to pass a vehicle and it suddenly accelerates, not allowing you to pass, perhaps just allow them to have and be proud of the one thing they can win at. Bless their hearts.
Okay, well, I am unfortunately obsessed with him. So social media has significantly impacted storm chasing, leading to a focus on dramatic close-up footage to attract views and followers. Many experienced chasers lament the decline of traditional forums like StormTrack, where chasers used to share detailed reports and forecast. Social media fragmentation makes it hard to find comprehensive content and undermines the sense of community among chasers. The drive for sensational content has led to reckless driving and safety risk. Veteran chasers worry about the impact of social media and the behavior of less experienced chasers who put themselves and their equipment beyond safe limits, and it seems like cause danger for other people. There's skepticism around referring to storm chasing as a profession, since most chasers do not make significant income from it. They just read them so fucking hard. It was like, well, we can't call it a profession because you're not making any money. So by definition, it's a hobby. The focus on social media has also shifted attention away from scientific and educational aspects and has created new opportunities for community building and interaction, which has led to more fragmented and less cohesive storm chasing. The rise of affordable technology has also made it more accessible, but diluted the quality content and expertise. Storm chaser Mark Sudduth is seeking public assistance after his weather station was stolen along Highway 90 in Louisiana as Hurricane Francine was making landfall. The equipment is crucial for tracking the storm and collecting vital data. Sudduth is a documentarian for Fox Weather, shared the incident on social media, explaining that thieves had paired the station's computer with their iPhone, allowing him to track it briefly. He urged anyone who spots the weather station to report it. The stolen equipment is unlikely to be of value to the general public, but some suggested checking local pawn shops in case thieves tried to sell it. Sudduth emphasized the importance of recovering the station to continue to monitor the hurricane. So damn, they have stuff going on and robberies in the community. David Call. So storm chasing has gone significant changes since the release of Twister, like we said, according to David Call, who is a veteran storm chaser and meteorology professor. Over the past few decades, technology has made storm chasing more accessible to amateurs, but the unpredictability and dangers of the tornadoes remain. Today, most people can get started with just a smartphone and a few apps. As Call notes, the startup cost to get into storm chasing has dramatically decreased, allowing more people to pursue the activity. It kind of seems like they're trying to gatekeep. Despite these advancements, storm chasing remains highly dangerous. Call, who has been leading storm chasing expeditions with students at Ball State University since 2008, emphasizes the importance of safety and preparation. One particularly tense experience in 2012, Call and his team found themselves skirting the edge of a rotating wall cloud with heavy rain blocking their exit route. Call also reflects on the thrill of seeing a tornado, calling it a big rush, but warns that chasing storms with the sole goal of witnessing a tornado often leads to disappointment. Tornadoes are rare, and about half his storm chasing trips have resulted in seeing one. More often, teams are studying larger weather patterns and thunderstorms, using the opportunity to teach students how to forecast and analyze storm behavior in real time. Climate change is another factor that's influencing storm chasing and tornado behavior. While tornadoes are notoriously difficult to predict, there's emerging evidence that climate change may be shifting the locations and intensifying the storms. Some research suggests that tornadoes are moving eastward, away from the Great Plains and into the Mississippi Valley. The shift could make storm chasing more difficult, as the terrain of the plains with open landscapes and fewer obstructions has traditionally been ideal for observing storms. In areas with more trees, hills, and populated regions, chasing tornadoes becomes far riskier. However, the relationship between climate change and tornadoes is still being studied. I mean, it makes sense if it's getting warmer and warm air affects the tornadoes. Tornado numbers have actually decreased in recent years, raising questions of whether it's cyclical or whether it is climate change. So I think like the number of tornadoes has gone down, but the intensity of them has gone up. Call uses an analogy to explain the difficulty of linking individual weather events to climate change. It's like removing some black cards from a deck, which increases the odds of drawing red cards, but doesn't directly cause a specific outcome. So like I was saying, it definitely plays a factor, but I can see where it's like very hard to measure that. Ultimately, while storm chasing has changed significantly since the days of Twister, its core remains the same, a mix of fascination with nature's power, the pursuit of data, and a constant battle with unpredictability. With climate change potentially altering tornado patterns and technology making storm chasing more accessible, the field is evolving. Yet, as Call points out, the human element in forecasting and navigating extreme weather remains irreplaceable, especially when lives are at stake. But do lives have to be at stake? These were 2 videos if we had time, which we kind of don't, but let me see if they're anything good.
We have a little bit of time.
I'm going to put the Nearpod link in the chat so that y'all can be joining Nearpod while we watch this.
All right. Okay, ready to go.
Because we're going to play Time
From
to
the
Climb,
outside
if you
looking
didn't
in,
pick up on that.
The expectation of what storm chasing is like is a whole lot of this. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. In reality, it's an emotional roller coaster of highs and lows. Trust my gut. In between, it's mile upon mile of driving with some storms in between. Not every chase is filled with tornadoes. Nonetheless, my brother Connor and I were eager to get this 2024 trip underway.
Well, this is recent, a couple months ago.
I think the big thing that I'm looking forward to this year is just really growing as a storm chaser. I've gotten pretty good at the forecasting side of things, but I want to get better at the execution in that side of the equation, if you will. What storm chasing means to me, it's comes down to a connection with nature. You know, it's the
That's
most
nice.
insane thing on paper. You're driving thousands of miles across the country to see, you know, something that might not happen. It doesn't make a lot of sense to the external eye, but it's the people that have it that fully understand. It's a weird connection to have with nature. There really are no great words to describe it. You just have to experience it for yourself.
Day one of chasing is always the hardest for us because we're starting in the northeastern United States, and to make a risk, we're usually having to basically sprint across the country. And that's not always ideal. And we got a great day of driving in yesterday, getting from northern New Jersey to central Iowa. But now we're having to go from central Iowa to northeastern Wyoming, which is obviously not ideal. It's, you know, another 10 hours of driving for us, but
10
at the end of
hours?
the day, we need to make this day one risk if we want to maximize our time chasing out here. So it's a labor of love, that is for sure, but it's not the easiest. This first chase was shaping up near the South Dakota border with Wyoming. The risk for tornadoes was minimal that day, but it seemed like a great opportunity to shake off the rust. Little did we know, things were going to go horribly wrong.
Oh, no.
Wow. I've never quite seen anything like that. Not to that level, at least.
They have, like, amateur energy, I'm gonna be honest.
Yep. While punching back through the strong outflow on the interstate, the forces at play were simply too much for the roof rails holding our carrier. Can't see it.
Yeah, get out. That's perfect.
We lost it. Oh no.
What's their carrier? Just like their stuff is in there? I feel like horribly wrong was a little misleading if you just lost your bag.
I'm gonna go find the carrier.
Yeah, get out of the car.
I got it. We're good. Windows up. Our roof carrier, full of our car repair and emergency supplies, had launched into a ravine next to the interstate. By the time we came to a stop, we were over a mile away, with it lost somewhere in the grass. With heavy winds, hail,
It's
and
giving
rain,
amateur.
I sprinted down the shoulder. The tall grass made it nearly impossible to see, but I found it 70 feet down into the ravine.
You ran a mile?
miraculously still latched.
In a tornado.
One piece. Good. All right. I'm gonna keep backing up. The latches are broken on it. Yeah. Oh my god. Thank God I run.
Yeah,
the wire fence.
You
I dragged
literally
it up,
just
there's no way to
ran
go.
a mile.
Right. Oh my god.
What is happening?
I was so scared that was gonna happen. I should have double checked. All right. The tightness of the bars.
Tully's toast.
Yeah, Tully is toast. Okay, yeah. So I guess that's the good news.
Oh my god.
You can probably fit everything on.
Yeah.
It's probably humid as hell, too.
Well, yeah. That's our situation.
So all the contents survived.
Oh my
A little
god.
shaken up, but I
Yeah,
think
you
we
were
could fit
running a
everything
mile
into
in a
our
tornado.
Car. And Thule, rest in peace. This was the only surviving U-boat, completely yielded and destroyed. The brackets, this was the only one that partially survived, but still, this is the last one I was holding.
They gotta upgrade. They gotta get better stuff. Okay, so I would highly advise that they not use the word went horribly. So what is here? Oh, this is that tornado tank, the
The
tour.
inside of a tornado. Only 5 research papers in history have data from in here.
Damn.
And that's why we built this monster.
Including ours.
And everything about this vehicle is custom built. The way that it looks, the way it operates, the instruments on it, everything is custom built by us.
How much was this?
4, 3. This is real-life Twister. This is the most capable storm-chasing vehicle on the planet.
It's
This is
so
the
ugly.
Dominator 3. And as you
Oh,
can
this
see,
is a
there's
different
plenty of
one.
space for
Similar, though.
sponsors.
Not plenty of space for sponsors.
To study the inside
Real.
of tornadoes, you
All right, I get the point of it. Let's go ahead and play our frickin' game. It looks like a lot of you are already there, but I will send the code again. This is just a little trivia game discussing the tornadoes, the people we talked about tonight. I know tonight was like kind of a science vibe. I just wanted something like easy and lighthearted to talk about, but it was actually very, very informative. My assistant kind of went off with this. There's already 17 of you in the game, so I'm only going to give it a couple more seconds and to let people join. But if you are headed out for the night, thank you so much for being here. Next week, I'm really excited. We're going to talk about Melania Trump. It's going to be kind of a lot. Put your critical thinking caps on for that one. Also, please continue to donate to Dr. Xiaofian. We are getting higher numbers. People have been donating recently, but we still have a long ways to go. So if you could post that on your social media as well. And if you can't do GoFundMe, there's a PayPal link in my link tree as well. But let's go ahead and get started with the game. All 18 of us here. I told you it was an intimate evening. Which scale do we use to measure the intensity of tornadoes? The Richter scale is earthquakes. Which of the following technologies is used to detect and track tornadoes? I don't even know this one. I hope you guys were paying attention because I wasn't. Doppler radar. Y'all are quick with it tonight. Okay. Which of the following is a bigger risk that they face other than the weather? Fights between other storm chasers. Twister Sister. Great name. $4,000 disappointment. That's what my parents call me. Us who grew up with these storms have an advantage. You do, like many things in life. Which movie is credited for popularizing chasing into the mainstream culture? I guess Sharknado, kind of. Yes, Twister. Y'all are so fast tonight. Oh my god. It's because the real one stuck around to the end. Where is Tornado Alley? Japan. I think they have had tornadoes there. I don't know, though. I've never been to Japan. I don't really know what they have going on over there, actually. The Midwest of the United States. Eastern Europe has had enough trauma. They don't need tornadoes. EF wind speed. What is the wind speed of the EF tornadoes? This is a hard one. Aw, Twister Sister got it wrong. 200. Anything over 200 was the EF5. So I guess 350 should have been marked right, too. Who is the pioneer of storm chasing? Harvey Weinstein. That's terrible. Imagine if that was like just some like background lore about him though. The photos on my wall collage over here are falling down. That's not ideal. David Hoadley. Which famous storm chaser died in the 2013 El Reno tornado? Y'all better get this right. We talked about him a bunch of times. R.I.P. R.I.P. Tim Samaras. I did not listen to people's names tonight. I don't think there's more name questions. As of May 2024, there have been direct and indirect deaths. What was the cause of the indirect deaths? redo my eyelashes. Hydroplaning. Hydroplaning for swerving for animals after the storm is done. Dangerous road conditions. And then last but not least, what are we learning about next week? What are we learning about next week? Oh, y'all were quick with that one. Miss Melania Trump. We will learn all the lore about her. She's had a crazy ass time. Her family was part of the Communist Party. There's a lot going on. In first place, we have Saturn Cat, and then Walmart Jade Egg, Tornado Alley Survivor, Astro Bro, a Lizard Beth, Tornado in the Walmart parking lot, $4,000 disappointment, Twister Sister, Tornado, Dominator 3, Rose, In the Storm, Kai, Twisted Sister, Gabs, Shelby, Sarah, Johnny Storm, Singing and Writing, and Alex. And nice job, nice job. I will stick around for a few seconds for anyone that has memes or anything of that nature. Tonight was cool. I just have been wanting to do this topic for a while because I think storm chasing is crazy and kind of interesting, and I mainly just wanted to watch videos of tornadoes, and I'm not going to apologize for that. Not going to apologize for wanting to watch videos of tornadoes. I think that you all also enjoyed the videos of tornadoes. Very spooky, very scary. While we are doing this, let me just read you some of the lineup for future stream moments. So, couldn't make a meme while I was AFK for a while. Thanks for a great weather stream. I'm glad I have earthquakes instead of tornadoes. So today we did a history of storm chasing and tornadoes. Next week, Melania Trump. October 1st, we are doing Lake Lanier. If you do not know about Lake Lanier, it is a lake outside of Atlanta, Georgia that is haunted. People can lie to you and say it's not haunted. It is. October 8th, there's this group called Improv Everywhere that I was obsessed with as a kid that just does like funny, harmless things in public. So we're just going to kind of like watch some of their pranks, talk about what they've done. October 15th, we're doing Andy Cohen. Yeah, Andy Cohen. That's going to be a good one. And then October 22nd, we're doing the history of the post office. So we have a really, really cool lineup coming up here. Fun fact, a poem I wrote that's getting published opens with a Lake Lanier reference, period. I live 1 mile from Lake Lanier. Damn, let me know if you need a scout. That's hilarious. Storm Chaser's motto, if you feel it, chase it. Oh, why'd you delete it? Can I restore it? Oh, it was a link. I guess your thing didn't work. I didn't know I can restore post. Oh, my kids are going to be sick of me. They always post things and then delete them. Ooh, Doomsday Preppers is a good idea, but I kind of am one, so I don't want to, like, further do that. I'm not one because I'm too lazy, but mentally I am one. I used to make pro-USPS propaganda on Truth Social, Trump's fake Twitter app. I love you guys' hobbies. You guys have the funniest fucking hobbies ever. But anyway, thank you so much for being here. I will see you next week. And remember, if you are in a tornado, get away from the windows and get into an interior room, preferably a basement. Good night. I love you.